You doing, Rick?
Hello. Doing great, Andrew. How about yourself?
Good, very good. So here we are today for 10 projects for Adobe Express with Rick McCawley. And for people that are watching, please let us know. Welcome, everybody. Let us know where you're watching from. Don't be shy.
Yeah, I'm real excited, Andrew. You've invited me into this whole world of being an ambassador for Adobe Express and also all of the Adobe products. And I've been a user since I was Photoshop was on a floppy disk. Was my first introduction to Adobe products. So real
Yeah, I
excited,
remember.
especially about this because as a professor, teaching is every one of the Adobe products is what we use in all of our classes. In
Sure.
fact, I'm getting ready to teach a social media class in January for the very first time, and we're going to use Adobe Express completely for timing and creating our social media posts. So
Excellent.
hopefully, we can get to talk about all that kind of
That's
good stuff.
that's what it excels at, I believe. So,
Yeah, yeah, for
so we
sure.
have someone from not sure how you say it, but Cascais, Portugal, maybe.
The Cascas in Portugal.
Cascais. Yeah,
Fantastic.
okay, good.
Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome.
Yes. So once again, welcome everybody. Let us know where you're watching from. I'm in somewhat humid Los Angeles, and Rick is in very humid Florida. Right?
Yeah, it's raining on and off today, unfortunately, but
And
that's
hello,
Florida. If you wait 5 minutes, it'll change.
someone from Estonia. Great.
Wow.
And then let me also remind everyone who is watching from the Facebook groups, if you comment and you see that it's just like a silhouette, please give StreamYard permission to show your name and profile pic so that I'll be able to credit you when you comment or ask questions. You just go underneath the description under the live to streamyard.com/Facebook. Click that, give it permissions, jump on back. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
welcome San Diego, a photography teacher.
There we
Fantastic.
go. San Diego, nice.
Hope you enjoy this
Great,
today.
great. Well, we got a lot to go over. So, Rick, do you
Yeah.
want, well, let me
Oof.
switch you over here. And do you want to introduce yourself and talk about what we're going over today?
Yeah, so let me give you a little background. I'm a professor for the last 23 years at Broward College teaching graphic design in a program that I designed from the scratch. And back in 2000, it was desktop publishing. My previous career was at the Miami Herald as a photojournalist, and one of the things I did when I left the Miami Herald was when desktop publishing was happening, is I paginated the entire Miami Herald and started doing consulting, and then set up Barry University and International Fine Arts College with their graphic design and photography programs. And now I'm running the program here in Broward, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So it's great to see other professors and teachers out there, especially photography. 15 years for the Miami Herald. I photographed everything from the first space shuttle launch to yeah, just the number of assignments, and you'll kind of see a little bit in the PowerPoint presentation as I get into it. So
Great.
today, what we're going to do is talk about what an amazing thing Adobe Express is. I call it the Swiss Army knife for designers, right? So it's got every tool in the shed that we're going to go over today. And so I listed 10 things that I'm going to try to hit, and maybe a couple of more in addition. But in generating images, in generating type, in working with templates and design formats, designing a logo for yourself, getting ready to stream it is the big thing I'm looking forward to that wasn't there before. The Adobe project is right now a beta project still, and it's free to use for all of you. So definitely get in there and try it out and learn it. And it long term is going to be free for instructors as well. So for teachers and students, it's a product. It's a little different between the pro version. In fact, Andrew, if you can step in, and if you know the differences exactly, but you have access to tons of videos and stock assets, over 18,000 typefaces involved in it. And then you can transcode and encode video and make it ready for putting out on social media. But in addition to that, it even has the capability to do a resume or do a PowerPoint type presentation. It's just countlessly fun. So today, what we're going to try to do is talk about branding. So I am getting ready to publish a couple of books for myself about photography. So they're called the 100 Top Travel Photos Create and Critique. So I believe that when you create images and then you learn how to talk about them, you can make better images as you go forward. So I'm doing it on underwater photography, on photojournalism, and on travel. And that's our subject today.
Right.
So I branded myself, and I'm going to walk you through no matter what you do, you should start thinking about how to brand yourself and present yourself with a typeface that kind of demonstrates who you are, a color palette that kind of indicates what you're about, and then creating assets that you can put out there in your social media sharing or even in print. For students, for the high school teacher, hello, San Diego, fantastic because you get to use it for doing your syllabi, for doing projects for your students. There's
So
a lot of
shall we
education
share your
application.
slides and jump on in?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, great. So here we are.
Okay, so this is me starting with a Macintosh Plus and Photoshop on a floppy disk. On the left, I've been designing textbooks for all of my students for a long time. It used to be $100 a piece, and with InDesign and other applications, I'm actually able to create all of these. Right now, in fact, I'd love to work with some high school photography teachers and college teachers as well. I'm doing interactive versions of all these books, so they're going to be for in PDF format, and they're going to have embed videos and links and all kinds of stuff. So I'm looking forward to kind of doing that in the future. Fast forward, I worked for the Miami Herald. Here's some pictures from the first space shuttle launch and some other exciting events that I photographed.
Nice.
And then Adobe Express really is, it's just the Swiss Army knife for designers. Because take a look at this. You can make a flyer, you can make a TikTok, you can do logos, you can do Facebook posts, Instagram, etc. Your social media sharing capability, your videos, just everything. It's just chock full of nuts. So it's really a terrific tool. The generative features that you see here, text to image, is built right in. So you can generate your own images. So I've used it in PowerPoint presentations when I just don't have an image of a cat in a hat eating a hamburger. If you need something like that. And then you get it much deeper. So the quick actions is something I'm going to kind of highlight today, and I'm going to show you exactly what these are. But you can see that you can remove the background on a picture, resize a photograph. You can automate. You can have a character that speaks your parts. You could do a voiceover and then have the character animate to what you're doing. You get to pick the character. So we're going to have some fun. Maybe we'll get you guys to give your input as to what exactly you'd like us to do. Converting video into GIFs, converting into MP4s. So I had a bunch of MOV files I had to convert. So drag and drop, and it converts it for you very quickly, by the way, too. Resizing video, merging videos, creating a QR code. So you'll see that being used in this presentation as well. And then your templates and things like that. So they've already curated thousands and thousands of assets at all different sizes, so that when you go to a vertical that you're going to put as a movie on Facebook or Instagram, and then you want to go to a square or rectangle, they have all the sizes and social set up for you, so that you could do exactly that. So
Great.
here's just a few of the ones that I just talked about, converting files and, kind of generating what you want. Yeah, so here's all the different ones to give you an idea of how many there are. I think there's 20, 30, 40. And there certainly are going to be new ones that they do, organizing pages. Oh, PDFs. So if you ever had a bunch of documents and you want to turn them all into a PDF, so I generated a bunch of pictures that I did in Firefly, and I wanted to make a slideshow real quick. Just generate a PDF, and now it's a portable document I can email to a friend, and then I can go in there and combine it with other documents like a Word document or anything else. So that's pretty terrific as well. Changing the speed of video, that's kind of neat as well. So what we're going to talk about today is, in my class, I teach branding and personal branding. And I want you to imagine right now that this is you and you're a high school photography teacher. Let's use you as an example. If you want to put your name in the chat there, we can call you out by name, because I hate to say high school photography teacher, but welcome from San Diego. Yeah, so you could say, I'm a photography teacher, so I want to make a brand. So you can actually go over into Adobe Express and start to generate a typeface. And here's my recommendation to you. Use your name like a word mark, just like Nike or McDonald's uses their names. Kelly, how are you? Thanks. Are you the one from San Diego? Okay. So yeah, think about it. So Kelly Clark, you've got a great name. It's got the same number of letters. Kind of the difficulty with mine sometimes is, it's a very long thing. And Rick is what I like to be called. I want to include that I'm a professor, photographer, and all this other kind of
So
nonsense.
yes, Kelly is the teacher. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Great. Welcome. I'm following her and her group of high school photography teachers, and I really hope to work on that book I just talked about with all of them
Right.
in the very near future. So when you're creating a brand for yourself, start with your name or your company. If you own a dance studio, think about that. Now, I would pick two typefaces that are contrasting against each other. So I pick Rockwell. Now, Rockwell's a nice typeface because for me, I'm a chunky guy, I'm a big guy, I want to be bold. It's a slab serif typeface, and it really just speaks of authority and foundational strength, right? Then I thought about Bebas New Regular, which is both of those are typefaces that are freely available within the Adobe Express community. So while you're there, you can try out all these different ones and they'll pair them for you. So they'll make suggestions for you that pop up as you're picking typefaces. You might like to try this. Okay, then colors. So you can go to a couple of places to figure this out, but I'll show you a couple of ways to do this. 5 colors is what you want. You want to range from light to dark so that when you put one color on top of another, it creates a nice contrast, like this blue and beige that are on top and contrasting against each other. So you want to definitely think about this very carefully and then pick icons that are going to stand in for you. So you've got McDonald's, you've got a word mark, McDonald's, you got Nike, word mark, Nike, right? You've got a swoosh and you've got golden arches. Those are the icons that I'm talking about here. Then you've got a tagline, which I didn't talk about. The tagline is, in my case, professor, photographer, UX designer, but I'm loving it and just do it are the taglines for both those companies, right? And the colors that they use are going to be very specific because you want to be memorable. You want to keep things minimal. You want to keep things very simple. And an icon, the simpler it is. So my only problem with this particular icon as a photographer is that I do a lot more than photography. In fact, these days I'm doing a lot more artificial intelligence and other image making. That doesn't represent me as much anymore. But my face, as I get known with a camera in the corner, is something that I'm going to use again and again. All right, so let's take it a little bit further. So where do you find out what typefaces you should use? Now, in Express, they're going to suggest things to you that are very popular. But if you want to be an advanced user and you want to go like my students do, I'd recommend you go to fonts.adobe.com. In fact, what we're going to be doing at the end of this, when we post this to its permanent residence around, we're going to be putting a link in there to this PowerPoint presentation that you're watching right now as a PDF. Those links are live within that PDF. So that means you can come to this page later on, take a look at it, click on it, and go there. Why would you want to go there? Because you can go there right from your Creative Cloud account or just go there on the web because it has all the typefaces that Adobe has available. And it puts them into these wonderful little packs of typefaces. In this case, this is a group of typefaces you see here that are really quite interesting and a little bizarre, maybe not your taste. Adobe also has color.
Rick,
Yeah,
quick question.
yeah.
How to Vids asks, does it allow you to create your own font on the Adobe fonts?
Not there, no.
Right, I didn't think
That is basically to install the fonts that you want to be using every day. You want to go there. So if you decide you have a brand, right? And this is the cool thing about Express. And that's why I brought the subject of branding into it. Everybody kind of, you put your stuff out there all over the place, but there's no consistency to what you look like. You want to represent yourself just like you have a signature look and feel and color palette that you use. And if you start thinking about design, you can be a more powerful just influencer in every way. Just as a person, people will remember you, right? When you meet someone, you give them a business card, which, by the way, in Adobe Express, guess what? You can make business cards in there as well, and you can get them printed. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah, so creating fonts, you probably go over to Illustrator, and there's lots of applications and plugins where you can create fonts from scratch. If you want to make your own typeface, in fact, for the type, my recommendation of what all of my students who are professional topographers, when they leave our program, they're going to have to take the typefaces that are out there in the world, like the Rockwell that I just showed you that I'm using, and they're going to have to alter it and make it their own so that they can sell this to a client as a unique particular typeface that's not off the shelf. Okay. If you want to get that advanced, cool, more power to you. So these are the tools I'm just going to kind of brush through. So here's what I'm going to try to do today. We talked about branding, and we're going to go in and video edit just to show you how that happens. We're going to convert files from one file format to another. We're going to do some music and voiceovers. So part of the Express environment is it's got on file all this music from all different genres that you drag and drop, and it's royalty free. So you can post it to all your social medias without having any kind of problem. And there's enough music there, and I'm sure they're going to be adding tons more. There's 18,000 fonts and animation. If you are a free user, there's certain access you get. I'm not exactly sure what the numbers are, but it's more than enough for the fairly casual user to get everything that you possibly could want out of it. If you're a premium subscriber, you'll see a little it looks like a crown in the corner, and that'll say that once you sign in with Adobe Express with your credentials for your Creative Cloud account, not only will you have access to a lot more content, photographs, illustrations, all kinds of combined things to do, right? And video editing and everything else that everybody else has, but you're going to have more of that. So when you're doing professional work for professional people, as soon as it's out of beta, you're going to be able to kind of go through and do exactly that. So collaborating, so I can actually work with real clients out there once it's out of beta again, because right now in beta, you're not allowed to use it for that purpose. There still is the old fashioned Adobe Express out there, and it's an app on your phone. So hopefully really soon, the beta and all those new features are going to be pouring in. The app on your phone is quite substantial and can do quite a bit. So that's awesome. Generative AI functionality in there. We're going to talk about that. PDF creation and social media posting. And that's going to be our big goal for this particular one. So let me show you what my process is. I first started off with looking for typefaces that kind of represented me, and I went all over the place. This is me in Illustrator just playing around and seeing what I can get done. And then I decided on this little bit down at the bottom. Because what I'm doing now when I go do presentations, I'm talking about user experience and artificial intelligence and design. That's my main thing when I go speak publicly, that I'm doing this summer in particular, as AI starts to take over everything. In fact, if you're looking for a great way to set up your brand, you might ask ChatGPT or Bing the question, what kind of brand should I have if this is the qualities that I represent and the things that I am about? If I'm a photographer and a lecturer and a professor, what kind of color palette should I look for? You can
Right.
use it to kind of help you iterate. And also Adobe Express is going to do the same thing. So when you type in photographer, wow, this is going to be great, right? I'm going to go a little bit quicker now. So I picked these two typefaces, and that's what I recommend you do. 5 colors. Write down the hexadecimal number for them if you're doing this professionally. And then I put it all together in a sheet that has colors, fonts, and then it has the assets that I'm going to be using in this project that we just looked at. So I spent quite a bit of time. So once we get over to Adobe Express, which we'll do in just a minute, I promise. I promised Andrew I wasn't going to show boring PowerPoints for a long time. We'll get right into it, right?
Yeah, we want that hands-on experience.
Yeah. So we're getting there. We're 10 minutes into it, 20 minutes into it. I promise I'm going to go faster. Okay. So what's cool about it is if you're an Adobe Creative Cloud user, you can take all of your assets and drag them into your libraries. And then they show up here in the My Stuff tab that you see right there to the left. Awesome. So the colors that I poured into my library and the fonts that I chose and the graphics that I chose are already waiting for me within the web browser where I use Adobe Express. All right. So this is the assets I put together. This is actually travel photography book. So this is what I've created for Facebook as a post. And then we're going to go through and create this little animated graphic here that you see. And yeah, well, thank you very much. And I think that's the last slide. Yeah, so this is our goal, is to kind of create just a social media, and you take a look at the last thing. This is important in case you don't step around for the whole thing. At the end of the process, we're going to take what we create, which is going to be a couple of videos and some still images, and then we're going to put them into a scheduler. So you can schedule it by date, and you can see right here, it's got the scheduled time and date that these are going to be posted. And so I've done a video as well, and that's fantastic. So here it is on LinkedIn. So you have to connect all of your social medias, and that includes Twitter, that includes Facebook, Instagram, and all of them, and post in different ways. Being able to do that without being there. So next Sunday at 3 o'clock, so the 6 o'clock crowd sees it fresh, timing it and thinking about the analytics. This is professional grade stuff that you would have to pay thousands of dollars a month to be able to do. And it's built into this application. You could do the whole Creative Cloud. Awesome. You could also just subscribe to Adobe Express as a professional user, and get all those benefits that are in so many other applications, but all in one place. So you're ready to go.
So
All
let's
right.
jump on in.
Yeah. So I'm going to go to my present share screen. Here we go.
Yeah, it's somehow disappeared. You already had it open. I think you closed it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so present
And
share
then
screen.
share screen.
Okay, and then I'm going to do the entire screen here. Oh, okay, there we go.
Okay.
Hide this for a second. Are you seeing me now?
Yeah. So now you're ready to jump in, right?
Okay, yeah, here we go.
There we go. So here
All
we
right.
are in Adobe Express.
So give me a little bit of a runaround as to what we've got available here. So if you start at Adobe Express in the top left-hand corner, you can see the things that you can do. So for me, it's suggesting that I might want to get started on any of these projects, create a logo, a TikTok video, etc., going across. Then as we go down, text to image. So that's your Firefly products, so your generative image making from a text that you type in there. Text effects, you can see. And then these quick actions, and that's where you're going to live a lot, especially if you're creating and generating your assets that you're going to be putting in your social media campaigns, right? So if you want a QR code, like we're going to put up on screen in a little bit, if you want to remove a background of a picture, and these slide left and right, you really want a big screen because there's so much going on in here. When I said this is definitely a Swiss Army knife, it's like 1,001 tools that are built into here. So popular templates for Instagram Square posts. These are already pre-created for you. A flyer. So print work you can do in here. An Instagram story, a TikTok video. And these are already pre-made so that you can see what someone else has done. Put your own assets in there, add your own color and your own flair to it. Bingo, it's yours. Then you can start posting it. Logos. So you can go in there and actually generate your logo entirely in this. Facebook posts of all types. So here's all kinds of Facebook posts. So at the bottom, it shows me my recent documents, and I'll just open up one just to give you an idea of kind of where we're headed with this. And this took a little bit of time, I must admit, but what we're looking at here is a document that's been turning into an edited timeline. So what I did here, and I'll show you from soup to nuts, so don't freak out but I want to show you what we're baking in our oven here, right? So I'm going to play back what I actually did. What I did is I created this graphic. There's one graphic here, one here, so a graphic here and a graphic here. And I can take a look at my stuff over here on the left, and there's all the different pieces of things I've done. And since I put all of those items, the individual pieces together into my libraries in the Creative Cloud, when I go over here, I look at all the colors that I've been using. I look at the fonts I've been using, and we'll have to give it a second because it's trying real hard to keep up with all the images. But all the images that I used in this presentation, I can go right there and bring them up on screen. Okay, let me play you what we're going to end up with, and then I'll show you how I built it. Hopefully this works. This includes both sound. Yeah, I think it, because we're streaming right now, it might be a little shy to get us going. I might have to bring that up and just play it in a window. In fact, let me see if I could do that real quick here for you. And it typically, oh, that's not the one. Here we go. And let me just present that for you. So when I was done with this, and it took me about an hour, I'm not going to lie, it wasn't a simple project that I decided to do. I really should have just done a logo, right? So these are all photographs that I've taken all around the world. I've been really blessed. I grew up as an army brat and got used to traveling all the time. Grew up in Okinawa, Japan, and since then, all my life I've been traveling. So this book is about what are the best photographs I've ever taken, and this is a slideshow. And the music comes right from Adobe Express, so you can switch it up and you can find whatever you want.
Quite the variety. Looks like
Yeah,
some very good travels. You know?
yeah. So this is the top 100 photographs from probably 200 different countries.
So you've been to 200 different countries?
Yeah,
That's nice.
right around that. Yeah, scuba diving and having all kinds of good fun.
Yeah.
So it helps, obviously, that if you've got some good content that you've generated. So that definitely is going to make a big difference.
Great.
And so that's the book that I'm getting ready now. Obviously, I can't use this until it becomes a commercial product, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
So
Excellent.
that's what that video looks like to give you an idea. All right, so
Right.
let's go back
And
to
my friend John is here. Says looking good, Andrew and Rick.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. So this is, it looks like it's freezing on me, which will happen on occasion. We're streaming at the same time that I'm trying to access a web-based application. I'm assuming that Adobe will eventually, like they did with the regular, let me just restart it here for a second. Like they have done with Adobe Express in the past, it'll be a standing alone application on your desktop or your other devices. So I'm sure it'll be an app like it is on those devices. So basically, I put these little things together. You can see it says add a scene at the end. So if I add a scene, I'll just see if I can show you the process here. That's the only thing I cannot fix, is if it doesn't want to cooperate with us today. Maybe we should start with a little bit easier project here, to tell you the truth. In fact, let's start with a fun animation. All right. So if you have created your own stuff, yeah, that's a great place to start. But let's say that you don't have anything, right? And so I want to go up here and I want to start to make some sort of post. So if I go to create, it shows me all kinds of things that I can do. Instagram posts. So let's create a Facebook post, right? So I'm going to start with creating a Facebook post. And then take a look at what we've got over here. We've got photographs. So I'm going to do this one. This looks pretty good. Now you can see the little crown there. So that is available for premium users. So since I'm signed into the account here, you can see this one's available to me to use. So I just kind of drag that on there and I'll do a little travel. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, just not wanting to play nice. I wonder if I could upload from a device. Let me try uploading from a device here. So I've got my presentation folder, if I could find it. There we go. And I will do. Oh, there we go. I'll just go in here and we'll create one from scratch. All right. So, so here's a couple of pictures. So I'm gonna load up 4 or 5 pictures here real quickly, and you can upload multiples at a time, and it does a pretty good job of bringing them in and then adding them to your screen. So, unless it doesn't want to, yeah, it is thinking.
It knows we're live.
Yes, of course, of course. All right, let me reset it one more time. It does save your work automatically. So if you do have a freeze or any kind of issue, it's pretty easy to
Get back to
fix
it.
that. Maybe we should generate something from scratch, right?
Yeah, might have to do Firefly, right?
I promise you, it's never this slow. I'm sure it's StreamYard's trying to, get both our videos connected together and not have any ums or
Oh,
ahs.
but that would be on your browser, though. I mean, that would be in your
Oh, I see.
Express itself. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me bring out something that I've already got here that's maybe a little bit easier to do. Oh, here we go. We'll just bring out one of my nice little pictures. So I can add this as a Firefly image. I'm going to add as an image. Hang tight. There it goes. Now we got it. It still doesn't want to play.
Weird.
Ah, how about a picture of Paris? Add as an image. Oh, okay.
I think you might end up having to go to the area where you do text to image and generate an image right in from Firefly in
Yeah,
Express.
yeah, we can do that.
Yep.
Although that's going slow too. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to this and we're gonna type I like the idea of having an elephant in the
I
jungle.
say maybe you need to close the other tabs for the color palette and the
Oh, there
font
you go.
packs. I don't know.
Okay.
But
Yeah, there's the color palette capabilities that are
yeah.
at color.adobe.com. Let me close everything out here that I don't need. And
Mhm.
there's the font packs that I talked about. You can see what different font packs there are. It's really quite spectacular.
It's
You
good
know,
for studying different font sets.
yeah, so you wanna get familiar with which ones they are, and since these are all Adobe fonts that you're looking at, they're gonna be available to you. In fact, when you click on it, you just hit download, and it's installed on all your machines because it's linked by the Creative Cloud. So I get on my laptop off of my desktop, it's sitting there waiting for me.
Right.
And especially if I'm doing a particular type of project, I wanna get exactly, what I have there. Let me go ahead and quit.
Well, hopefully this works because John said he just got an error when he tried to log into Firefly.
Huh, okay.
We'll see.
Let me see if this makes any. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe try the text to image.
Okay.
Elephant in a desert.
Let's see if that works. Mm, maybe. All right. This is so much fun. Why don't I grab one of these pictures that's already there? Okay, here's a nice picture. Let me just use that. Why does it not want to even add this to it?
I think you're doing everything right. I just think it's, something going on with Express, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe go up to the refresh button and just refresh the page itself and then try
Yeah.
something.
I love it when a plan doesn't come together. Well, let me give you a little bit more of a tour, and
Right.
maybe we can find a better way to do this. So the other things that you want to think about is when you get started with a project, decide what it is you're trying to do. So if you are doing social media, here's all the different file formats and things like that. So if you're really hot into TikTok and you want to upload videos, just go right here. You can browse the templates, or you can create from scratch. So if you already did your dance video, right? Just create it, go upload your pictures. It is really, really fast, I swear. And if I browse the templates, what the cool thing is about it is the templates are designed not only with assets already in place. There we
How
go.
good it took.
Now
Yeah.
we finally got it to work, right? So when we take a look at this, here's all the components put together, and it's got a video that's there for you. And then all you have to do is take a look at the layers, which is very intuitive.
Right on the
Still
right side.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got the arrow there. Let's say that I don't want that. I can delete it if I want to. Um, I can go to the video so I can see each component and each layer that's structured here.
Nice.
Really want that arrow here. If I want to go rotate that arrow, boy, it's really just dogging here. Okay. let me strip this down and see if we can get some of the assets rid of, and then maybe it's actually, let me just try one more here. Let me do something easy. So there's a template video, and here's the images that are going to come in the screen.
Mm.
So if you start off with a still page, in fact, let me go ahead and just add a blank page, and I'll show you how to same size page. Okay, so I'm going to start, if it will let me. Oh, I'll just go to the new scene here. Yeah, Andrew, I can tell you as a fact, I was uploading and downloading hundreds of megabytes of stuff. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I can go take a look at other templates and media, right? So I've got this. This is a brand new scene that we've created. I've got a nice background, and I do have these pictures, right? And right now we can show the layer timing. So as we go through this video, we can actually see that the background is actually a live video. Okay. And then each one of those pictures come in one at a time. So if I want to check on this picture up here, here's how it works. So you bring in all the assets and you decide, when does this picture come in? So you can see it's layer number 2 on the right. Now it's working. Okay, here we go. It's layer number 2 on the right. So we can go to that. And if we turn on show layer timing, when I first saw that little button down there, I'm like, what is that about? And basically what it does is whatever layer you clicked on, you could decide when the in point and out point is. And
Right.
if you want it to show up earlier, oh, come on, refresh, please. It does auto save. So yeah, right back where we were. Okay, here we go. One more time. So if you turn that on, you can go take a look at in your video when those items show up, and then you can change the timing. So that's exactly what I did with my slideshow. Is I basically went over to the my stuff and grab the pictures, or I can go to media, which is the great place, right? So if you have a folder, so what I would suggest doing, let's say that you did this, right?
Rick,
Yes.
so I have a question is,
Yeah.
when you have this kind of video template, video layout, can you click on, say, that image you just did, and
Yep.
then can you swap it out for one of your own?
Yes, you could, or easier yet would just be to drag and drop it into place. But so what we can do is we can change where it comes in. Yeah, I think this is, I'm trying to do too much
Doesn't
here.
like when you
Yeah, when I'm doing video right now. Well, let's try a brand new document here. Let me get rid of the video background. Let me just bring in a still picture. How about that? Or we can start again. It does keep where I was, so it's not losing anything for some reason. Okay, so let's do a social media post. And let me start you from scratch. Start from your content. You can open up something over here. Um, but I do want to do a let's just do a photo collage. How about that? And then we can turn it into, yeah, Facebook. So I'm going to browse the Facebook templates. Here we go. Oh, this looks like a fun one. Oh, let's take one that's free because it probably doesn't have that. It's probably not that complicated, right? There we go. So this is one of the ones that's free, really easy. And then you can go in, yes, and you could swap out the pictures that you want to put in there. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me go and find my stuff. And I believe somewhere in my brand library is a picture of myself. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Drag that right in there. Let's see if it just replaces it straight up or not. Oh, it also will upload PDFs. I'm sorry, Photoshop layered documents and Illustrator layered documents as well, which
Right.
is pretty cool. It doesn't seem to want to do that. Let's try just bringing it in, period.
Is it behind the purple kind of?
No, in fact, I'm not even seeing.
Yeah, the previews aren't generating so much on the. Maybe Adobe decided to do a lot of updates and changes
Right?
today on Friday.
Yeah. So just so you do know, here's the ability to zoom in and out on the project. So let me go to 150%. And then you can also see, turn the layers on and off right
Nice.
there.
Yeah.
And then this gives you the ability to look at. So if you have multiple pages, so I want to make one more page. So let's say that I'm doing, I've got office workers. I got 5 people I'm doing this for. So I can add another document that's a duplicate of this one, or I can actually duplicate this page, right? And if it's working, it should do that. It'll add as many pages as you want. So I could make the same branding kit for everybody that's maybe the CEO on down to every worker. And then I can create a page that's built off of all of those. When you do create something at the end of the project, you can hit download and then share it. Share would be to go out to electronically or sharing it with social media, etc. And download it would be right to your hard drive so that you could do whatever you'd like with it. This is not even not even moving, unfortunately. It seems to be one more time. Let's give this one more shot. Here we go.
Okay.
I know I've got a terabyte internet system here, so.
I was going to say, if you click download, it also shows you what different options you can save it as.
Oh yeah, yeah. So let's say that we were to download it. Yeah. So there we've got
PNG or
PNG,
JPEG.
JPEG. Yeah. So PDF is great. JPEG, PNGs is what I use most of the time for a lot of images, especially social media today. It does not compress and create artifacts that JPEG does. So
And
that's a good thing. It's a little bit fatter, but
Christina asks, can you download in WebP? I don't think they have that as an option yet, right, Rick?
no, not from here.
Yeah.
Certainly, once you've got it in whatever application you're using, you can certainly do that there. Photoshop and everybody does
Sure.
that as well. Yeah. The PNG is kind of the universal and most recommended that I would recommend for the best quality. Being a photographer, that's become a big thing for me.
I think it does better with reds too, like the color
It
red.
does. Yeah, the color rendition of it. If you're sharing to social media, you want to use sRGB color space to work with.
Right, right.
And if you're an Illustrator user, you know that CMYK seems to be what it wants to always do. Okay, come on, you got to work with me here. Yeah, it's still loading up on the left here. I might have to quit my browser and
Yeah, maybe I'll switch us over to this view and then you
yeah,
quit
let me
from
just pop up Safari again. Let's see if that's the issue.
Yeah, it might work better with Chrome too.
Oh, okay.
Everyone seems to be pushing Chrome all the time. Even StreamYard is a
Yeah,
fan
yeah,
of Chrome.
that seems to be the case. That's a good idea. All right, so where is it? Yeah, it seems like my computer itself is what's locking up, not anything else.
Uh-oh. You don't have other apps open, do you? Like Photoshop?
Nope, I threw everything else away. Oh, that QuickTime, I'll throw that away. Yeah, I got a brand new machine here, so it shouldn't be about that.
You a Mac or PC guy?
A Mac.
Okay.
Mac.
What machine did you get?
I'll never go back. Oh, the latest, greatest. I'm always upgrading to whatever is out there.
M1 or M2?
M2.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. So let me try this one more time. I'm going to create a new window and go to that same location. Let's see if I can log in there. Oh. Hopefully it'll let me
log in. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I see. I have to log in with my Adobe ID.
Shall I share that so everyone can see
Yeah.
the password?
Yeah, if you could switch that out, that'd be great.
Okay. I'll wait
Yeah,
for when you're logged in.
definitely ask any questions if you've got them, because I'm here.
All right. So once you get signed in, I'll switch.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with it, Adobe does have an application called Account Access. So if you ever use multiple machines and you keep going around, it will automatically sign you in with just a click of a button. Okay, Here we go.
There we go. So I added to stream. There we go.
Ooh,
Oh,
ooh,
just
ooh.
hit the word hide at the bottom right, bottom middle right.
Okay,
There
there
we
we
go.
go. All right, looks
Great.
like we're in business here. All right, so let me look at a couple things. So I'm gonna just take this picture since it's sitting there and it's working right now. So I'm gonna play nice. We didn't have that
I
picture.
also noticed it's showing more of the text, right? Before it just said
Yes,
September
that
23rd.
wasn't there. That wasn't there. So let me just run down the list as they kind of are here. So remove backgrounds, the first one. So I've selected this young lady's head here, headshot. Moving the background is spectacular. If it doesn't
Oh,
quite get it perfect, like the hair is a little complicated, you could imagine that's the case, right? Then you can go in here and you can kind of just
it's
click.
pretty clean though. Yeah, the way it cleans
Yeah,
up.
once it's done and you just get the edge of it in there, I swear it's 10 times better than anything Adobe ever had before. Once they got in the AI thing of doing this, it's spectacular. I used it on my own headshot as well, so I'm just gonna make sure
Yeah,
there's nothing over there on the side. Okay, so that's the erase tool, right?
looks good. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna take a look at what else can you do. So I can crop it, so I can make it smaller if I want to, change the opacity. So nice little watermark kind of thing if you want to try that out. We're going to leave that. Blend modes, right? Multiply, screen, etc. It doesn't apply in this case, but if you have multiple pictures that overlay each other, certainly a great thing to be able to do. Then set as the background. Then you can flip vertically, flip horizontally. Don't want it. Well,
And can you take a quick question?
oh, what?
Can you take a quick question?
Sure, absolutely.
So Kelly asked, she says, I'm logged in my School Express on my iPad, but I'm not seeing any of the AI stuff. Could it be since it's an educational account?
Yes, right now education is blocked out of the beta program, so you might want to go in with your personal credentials.
Thank you.
Until it's a fully functioning, releasable edition. You
Right.
can use your old one, and it's not gonna have the generative stuff. There's a lot of stuff that was in the Adobe Express. It used to be called something else. There were, like, 5 different programs, one for building websites and all kinds of stuff. You could actually build a website in here too.
Great.
So it's just off the hook fantastic, yeah. So, in here, I'm in the effects panel right now, and I can make a duotone. I could,
That's cool though. Yeah.
play around with the color. So the original photograph, we didn't even know it was full color, right? And now I go to grayscale and there you go. And then I
Nice.
wanna, tint it or do whatever. So that's the effects. And then you've got the adjustments, which means I can go in and do your basic adjustments. I can make her I'm gonna reduce the contrast a little bit. That's much more pleasing. Yeah, softer thing.
Bring back, tone
Highlights.
down some of the highlights if you need.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me some deep dark shadows there. Wonderful. Color and warmth isn't going to do anything. Sharpen and blur. Okay. And then you can reset them all if you want to get back to that's the original picture. And that was pretty
Right.
nice. I didn't need to fix that.
Nice to see. Nice to see.
Yeah. So the last one is animation control. Now, what I can do at any time is I can turn this into a video production, which I think it was, wasn't it? For some reason, I'm not seeing the bottom of my screen here. Hold on. I should be able to see that this document, which I'm going to title, if you title here, it somehow it doesn't, you know, it doesn't follow through for some reason. All right, let me get back to picking a picture. So let's take a look at text. So we've got the ability to pick any typeface that we want. And here's what they suggest even. So if I wanted to swap that out, there you go. And then the beauty of the text is it's just what I call rubber band text. So you don't have to sit there and figure out, is this going to fit? How do I make it scale bigger and smaller? It just does it. I mean, this is the best experience, user experience you can imagine. And they got still some bugs. I'm not going to lie. I had a couple of times where I was kind of like, well, something's not working here. And then what's also cool is if I take a look at this, I can take a look at fonts I have on my machine here, but I can also go over here. If I want to use my fonts that I set for my brand, let's say, I can go over to my stuff and I could take a look at my brand library. So this is one that I created. It's called branding right here. And then I can substitute Rockwell as the typeface.
That's great. Yeah.
And
And there's a very good question
yeah,
that someone on Facebook, um, I know the basics of it, but I'm not sure if it can populate a few at one time. But question is there an easy way to create posts from multiple social media platforms? Or to rephrase it, I think they're
Yeah,
saying, is there a way to resize for multiple social platforms, or do
exactly.
you have to create them individually for each
No, in
platform?
fact, guess what there is right here in the top left-hand corner? Resize. What does resize give you? Every single one there is.
Right.
So
So
I
you
can take this content and duplicate it for an Instagram square post.
and then you would just resave it or download it and then
Yeah. So what I
go
would do
and
is, let's say this is my Facebook banner, right? Now I want to add a duplicate of this. Okay. See how it just kind of slid to the right? Now it's working perfectly. It is Chrome
yeah.
was the answer. So
It
thank
always seems like every
I
site
know.
always is pushing that,
Yeah, Apple has its own little world that it lives in. Sometimes it doesn't get along with everybody.
too much privacy issues or something.
Yeah, which is good and bad, anyway. Okay, so now I have the same thing, but let's make it an Instagram square post. Same thing, and let's resize it. Bingo.
Mm, yeah.
Okay. So what am I gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to do some work here and just kind of,
Move
think
things
about
around.
resizing this and then move this up here. And I'm gonna make that really big going across the top. And then I'm gonna take her and make her the key picture. Actually, I
But
wanna
it's nice that it doesn't crop anything off. It's all the
no,
information's
no,
there, and he can just
it just,
move it around and
and
resize.
good growth is that little for some reason, that's what this is about, okay? And, so we have the ability to, so that's her, I guess, right? Who's
Yes, yeah.
by her. I'm gonna move her a little bit to the
Put the
corner.
date underneath or something maybe, yeah.
Ah, okay, so she's doing the speech. Okay, there we go. So
Yeah.
we wanna make sure we get that in there. And then let's make this a longer piece, and let's take out that carriage return.
But as you can see, everything's so easy. Even if you
Oh,
resize,
yeah.
he just has to click
And
on it and use, as he says, the rubber band
mhm,
resizing,
and then I could, yeah, so this is definitely I'm not sure why. Oh, I see. There's something going on here with this. Some reason why
I
I
think it's
can't
just
get inside the thing.
repeated somehow, but
Yeah.
you have it in, yeah. Looks good, yeah.
Yep. Let me just check out. Oh, here we go. There's another. There we go. Now it's working. Okay. So I want to do it like that. Um, and let's say I'd like to make it be behind her, right? So then I just make sure that her picture is above that layer, and
Yep,
then she's part of it, right?
nice.
And I certainly would spend some more time and design this correctly. And in fact, maybe I could make it sort of a squared off thing here and then make her a little bit bigger. But, it's just rearranging some things. And then there it's a little bit in front of her and then go up
Right.
just a little bit. There we go. So that's usable. And then let's say that now I do want to make another one like this. So I'm going to go add a duplicate
Duplicate.
page, right? I'm going to resize it. And this time I'm going to resize it for Facebook post. No, Instagram carousel,
Someone
YouTube
says
video. YouTube video. Okay,
yeah.
so I'm gonna resize it
So
for
so someone says, "Great, thanks. When you resize, does it automatically create a new page with the project, or do you need to duplicate the page first?"
Yep. In fact, I
And
just
you did
messed that up.
duplicate,
I messed up that exact it did create 3. Okay, well, let's check it.
but you did duplicate it first, and then
Okay,
you resized it.
there we
Yeah.
go. Yeah, so it's got a carousel sort of framework, and you can also I think there's a way to not do carousel. You could do it side by side, so you see them all at once. Okay, so this is a Facebook banner. Let me do it one more time, and I'm going to make it duplicate. I'm going to do it right this time, and I'm going to pick a YouTube video, duplicate and resize. So you have to hit that, not just resize. What I did last time is just duplicate. Oh, there we go. Now you can see all of them. So this is for the YouTube video. This is for the Facebook and Instagram, which I can probably get rid of those because I really didn't fix those, did I?
Yeah, it's copy that.
So I'm going to delete that. I could go in there and duplicate it and do it again, right? So I'm going to get back out of that, and here I am. I'm going to go to the carousel to the last one. Now it's actually working, right? And that's the one I want to do. Okay. So again, I want to keep the consistency of the color palette and everything else. Let's say though I didn't. Let's say that I really wanted to. Let me move this over there for a second. And You know, in fact, this is the fun part of design, is just kind of moving stuff around and fixing it. I don't know. I don't know where that goes, but anyway,
A few thank yous for that too.
yeah. So while I'm here, I can go up and take a look at themes, and I can switch the theme and color palette around. That's a little weird. So I can recolor all the artwork just like that.
Nice.
Let's say that I have my theme built in here. I could actually change it to my theme.
And saving is automatic, right,
Yep.
Rick?
So even when I crashed and burned and I came over here to another application, I constantly go from my desktop to my laptop back and forth. And so I just sit in the kitchen and just, put in the URL and it's waiting for me. That's if I'm always signed into the account, which I should be. So yeah, just the capabilities here. Okay, so now let's go one step further. Let's say that I don't want her picture there. I want my picture there. I'm going to turn this into, I don't know why this isn't editing right. Let me just go ahead and add some new text here real quickly.
Where did she go?
Oh, I deleted her.
Okay.
She's not deleted from the other ones though. So she's still there.
Right.
No freak out. In
And
fact,
you could click that and copy that and then paste that in the last one too.
yeah.
Right?
In fact, since I've got two copies of this, I'll use this picture to put my picture in there. And so I'm going to go to my stuff and I'm going to find my library. So this is something that I think they'll probably fix a little bit. The library and brand are different ones. So any libraries that you've created in the Creative Cloud. So I've got Brand Rick, and I did one as a test. I've got Keith Haring brushes. I got fonts for design. Food for me is a UX UI project we're doing at school. So I have hundreds of these, right? And you don't really want to have all of them. I want to have right now visible these, which is my color palette and everything else, right? And then within this is images, graphics, and fonts, colors, and graphics, right? So remember how we started and I showed you that you want to find your typefaces that represent you. You want to find the color palette of 5 colors that represents you. This is it, right? And here's how it gets applied. So I can go take a look at that background color. And the background
I thought you were going to switch out your profile.
Yeah, I'll do every bit of that. Okay. So the background this is my background color. Bingo. Okay. And then I can go over to, and this looks pretty good, but let's say I want to change the color of my text, right? The fill of the text. There's my colors right there ready for me. So I'm going to switch it out to that color. Okay. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to switch out the photograph. Same thing. So now I'm going to go back to my stuff, go down to my image, hopefully, and find it. There we go. And then does it work? Okay, there's my picture. I'm going to kind of put it in the same location. I don't want to lose her because if this doesn't work, I don't want to have nothing to look at here for a bit. Okay, so there's my picture. And I'm going to make it about photography. So I'm going to say I'm doing a presentation about photography. All right. So what do I got to do to my picture? I've got to remove the background. Now I've got wisps of hair around. Ooh, it actually did it pretty darn good. All right. Yep. So now I feel that I can get rid of that beautiful young lady there for just a minute. I can bring this up a little bit larger. And then I could change this text and hopefully, come on, just let me type it. If it doesn't work, I'll just create my own text here. So I'm going to add your own text. There's a box. And I'm going to. So the reason why you want to spend the time to find the 2 typefaces and the 5 colors that you want to use. And for some reason, it's not adding the text.
You double clicked, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's interesting. That's different between the beta version and the regular version is in the beta version, you click in the box. In the regular version, there's like a whole text area in the top left.
And Command Z does work. So I'm going to go back to that for now, just to, so that it does work for us. Let me see if one of these texts has got to work, right? All right. So let's say it doesn't work. What do? Take a look at my brand right here. So there's the Babus that I used, right? Now it has the text there. I should
Nice.
be able to actually type in here. For some reason, it's not working. Again, here, when I go pick a typeface, it says you've got a brand in use. For the colors and for the typefaces, the brand consistency is there. That's the beauty. And so every one of these pages should look like they're the same. Obviously I'm not a black woman, but but you get the basic idea. So I can go up here. Let me see if this will actually change to my brand. There you go. So every time that I go do something, my brand is sitting there waiting for me. So
Right.
imagine that you have 10 clients that have 10 different brands. So you could do stuff for McDonald's and then you can switch over to Burger King. And then you could switch over to whoever your clients are, Nike or whatever. And you've got the brand kit waiting for them. Every corporation has a brand guide, the ways that logos and things like that are allowed to be used and not allowed to be used. Now imagine this. You are a designer and you're working with 10 different brand companies, and they provide to you their brand guide, which is a bunch of assets, digital, Photoshop documents, Illustrator documents, etc. And then you can go in there and just utilize it, implement them the way they are. Let's say that they change the logo, like Twitter changes its logo to the X, right? What are you going to do? So what do is that you get the new brand guide and then you implement that color palette and that X, and you still have all the original stuff. In fact, as you change the brand guide elements, they'll automatically update your future versions of those documents that you have. So whoever has to go rebrand every bus bench or whatever that has X on it or TV commercial, they've got their work cut out for them. It's a lot of work.
Sure.
But if you just change out one set of assets for another, and if you've been using smart objects, right, highly recommend that, because that means every logo is a smart object. You place the logo and then they decide they change the logo. You just change the original and it updates 10,000 documents based upon that original, because the smart object is linked to the original Illustrator file. It's linked to the original Photoshop document or image, whatever it happens to be. Okay. So you can kind of get the idea here, what's going on.
Right.
Now, let's see what else we can do with this. Let's
And,
go over.
and Rick, just to let you know, we're at the hour mark,
Oh,
so you can
okay.
still take it, of course, a bit.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, so you kind of saw the idea. I think overall, the first thing you want to do is get familiar with some of the capabilities. One of the cool things that I did a little while ago is animate from audio, and I'll just do this super quick. You could pick a
um,
character, and they're all here. So I'm gonna pick. Well, I'm gonna pick this guy, Bill. Okay, there's Bill, and then you pick a background, and I'm gonna make it a winter scene, and then I'm gonna pick a size. So I want to make this a video, right? And I'm going to record and I'm going to have it enhance the speech. Hi, my name's Bill, and I'm ready to show you about how Adobe Express works. I'm just a farmer and I'm out here in the winter or spring. Heck, I don't even know what year this is. But I tell you what, I do know Adobe Express is like the Swiss Army knife of all kinds of things you can get done. So here you go. Join the Adobe Express beta program and wait for the real release to come out shortly. I'm so excited. I can farm. Okay. So you're done with that. It's going to enhance the audio, clean up my voice. It makes you sound like a rock star. This is all part of the tools. And you're going to have a video that you can post right then and there. Adobe Character Animator is an application that does this as a standalone. If you've ever watched My Cartoon President TV series, or if you ever watched The Simpsons where they did it with Character Animator, or if you ever watched The Colbert Show, he did back in the Trump era a bunch of videos where he was talking to a puppet. Take a look for Character Animator Colbert Show, and you'll see on YouTube there's tons of videos about how this is done. Now that same power is right there for you to do with 3 clicks. And how long did that take? It'll take a little while. I picked the large size. I probably should have gone with the smaller size. You can also resize the character and make it larger and smaller. And I expect in the future there's going to be even more capabilities because
it's a cute animation for the exporting.
right.
Preview.
And then once it's done, you just play it back and then put it on your socials, right? So applying it to your socials is pretty easy as well. You'll see there's a tab up at the top. So when you do watch this, yeah, so I can go download it and then play
You
it.
want to play it in here?
Yeah, sure. I'll give it.
I don't know why it's not playing the sound, but
Okay, it is playing it for me. Let me see if I can download it and get it. It's playing for me on the screen. I think it has something to do with the microphone access.
sure.
But yeah, Bill's talking and saying exactly what I told him
Maybe
to.
you could open it in QuickTime after it's downloaded.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, so the other things is when you go to share, schedule is where you want to go. And this, I go by month first, and then that's where I've scheduled these events. So each one of these events has a date and a time, which Facebook or whatever kind of medium you're showing it to. I've only connected 2 of these, so this would actually post it on that date, and save it as a draft, or just go ahead and save the options there. Then you can also put in hashtags, etc., and then preview it. So that's what it would look like on my LinkedIn. So when I tell you this is a Swiss Army knife with 10,000 tools, I am not joking around. All of my design classes are going to be using this in one shape or another, definitely for social media, but also for creating brand where you can then quickly switch gears and go into that area. Personally, it makes you look better. If you've got your own typeface that represents you, your color palette, that's your color palette, think about it a little bit and then spend the time just picking out those 2 things and then let Adobe Express find ways to explore and then promote that. So if you're the president of the PTA, you can have your picture in the corner with your typeface there, and here is the agenda for next year of what activities we're going to do. Put it in an email. You start to look like you're just like the one incredible, professional. Hire professionals to help you do the design if you're not, because all of my students got to go to work. I don't want AI to put anybody out of business, but I want it to elevate the quality of work that we all are doing as
Right.
as educators and as people just every day. There's so many junky photographs out there as a photographer back in the day. So all the photographs uploaded every day is equivalent to 1990 to the beginning of photography. So that's how quickly we're uploading and saturating our world with images. So make them quality images. And Adobe Express empowers you to make quality images and represent yourself and make yourself look good. It should AI and all of these generative things should be about making businesses more powerful, making you as an individual for that business more capable of doing bigger and better things with it. So reach out, learn about this technology, adapt yourself, and figure out how you can generate great will and do good for humanity, right? Do all those things so that we can be proud of the place we live in, and we can use AI and artificial intelligence and design for good, because designing your life means your beautiful life. And I got some homework for you. Find the person that you most love in the world and find out how you can make their experience of you better. That's called user experience. And if you can figure out how to change someone's life or their impression of you by making it a better experience, all of us just keep paying it forward around the world. And it's going to be a happy place where we don't argue and we just realize that everybody's kind and generous. And let's be that for them,
Nice.
And namaste to you all. There is a divinity within you. There's a spirit within you. Go out and create, be creative, and do good things.
Nice.
Thank you.
So yes, I was going to say, sorry that you had some of the problems with Adobe Express itself, but yet,
I'm ready to do this again, Andrew. I'm
yeah,
telling you, I could do this all day and all night for like a year. And I
but
won't.
you did a great job. I mean,
Thank you.
as John said, awesome advice,
Thank you,
Rick,
John.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. The saving
yeah,
is automatic.
excellent job, Rick. And
Yeah.
sorry that you had technical problems, which was not your problem at all. You did great.
Oh. And I used it 10 hours yesterday, not a single glitch, I got to tell you. And now I'm going to start using Chrome, even though I'm an Apple guy, to the core, but oh well. Thanks,
right.
Kelly.
So I did want to just kind of go over places where they can find Express and you and all that. So, of course, Adobe Express is at adobe.com/express or express.adobe.com. And for the beta, it's new.adobeexpress.com. Correct, Rick?
Yeah, put the word new in there, because if you don't, you're going to end up some weird place.
So
There you go.
new.express.adobe.com.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thanks,
And
Rick.
then you can
And
find
my
Rick.
students.
Yep, you can find Rick at bit.ly/m at Rick McCawley. What's the M for?
I guess I don't know. If you just type
Yeah,
in Rick McCawley, if you get that spelled right, you can find 20 pages of Google stuff for me. So you can find
right.
me everywhere. It's
Yeah,
Rick
exactly.
McCawley at Gmail. I'm very, very public and I'm proud of that. So anything I can do for the good of everybody, let me know.
Great.
And yeah,
Right. And then in general, please subscribe for more Adobe Focus live streams and tutorials on my YouTube, youtube.com digital art drew. That's youtube.com digital art drew. And that is also where I'm going to be getting the link to share for this recording so you can watch and learn and take it all
great.
in. And if you haven't already, please come and join my AI art and digital art group on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/AI art digital art. And you may also have found this live through the Photoshop and Lightroom group, facebook.com/groups, Photoshop Lightroom group. And then we got some nice compliments coming in. So
Yeah, Andrew, man, you
well done.
spread the wealth and the fun. You've really introduced me to hopefully I'm going to be a better presenter as things go along. And
Oh, you did great. It's,
but
just
you got the
technical.
influence, man. You're everywhere. I really admire that you have a positive outlook, and it's really fun working with you today.
Ah,
I'm hoping to do it
appreciate it.
again and again. So
I will. Facebook user says this was great.
yeah,
Kelly says, well done. Thank you. Facebook user, I want to learn more from Rick. Yes. So
yeah,
Rick will be back for different kinds of focuses for live events with me. So yes. And Rick says, great ending, inspiring.
thank you.
Facebook, thank you for this brilliant presentation and thanks for presenting these features. Yeah, it
Fantastic.
was really great. So thanks everybody. As I said, I will be posting and Michael says, thank you both. I will be posting the link to the recording in the top of the Facebook groups. And, do subscribe to my YouTube when you go to watch that recording. And yes, we will have Rick again and again. So yes, Rick, like me, is an Adobe Express ambassador and an Adobe community expert, as you can see in the back. Yep. So
And
Christina says
hopefully
this was
more. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff with Lightroom coming up. In fact, building a book on Lightroom. So if you follow me on Facebook, you'll kind of get when stuff is happening. I'm definitely going to partner with Andrew because he's the one that brought me into this whole Adobe Community Expert program. And I got to thank him for that because it's
great.
really changing. I go back to school next week and I'm going to start doing lives in my classroom. So stay
Nice.
tuned for that. So if you're a photography enthusiast, definitely there's a lot more to come.
Great. And as my friend John Williams reminds us, if you're in the Facebook groups to see that recording, you look for the top pinned post, the top pinned post. And also to remind everyone in those groups, the top pinned post is where you will find most relevant information about updates, news, Adobe News, live events, contests, etc. So always keep your eye on the top pinned post. In fact, I'm going to be posting this weekend about a discount special for Photoshop World, Scott Kelby's Photoshop World, which will be online. So keep your eye out for that.
I've been 10 times. It's the most fun you can
10.
have with
Nice.
your clothes on, or maybe I don't know. It's
I think I've only been once in person and then a few times, 2 to 3 times live online. Yeah. So,
I've taken 10 groups of students there for free, actually,
oh,
when
that's great.
it was in Orlando. Now it's online, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, it'll be online this year. But
Yeah,
yeah. I
definitely
will.
a good idea.
Thanks everybody. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Rick. And
Thanks, Andrew.
we'll schedule again and again. Great.
All right.
Thanks everybody.